Welcome to Mana's Seal YouTube channel. The previous video link is on the description box or on the top right card. Volume 13, The Paladin of the Holy Kingdom. Nia was uneasy. That there were incredible spells went without saying, but could the Sorcerer King's mana really hold out? Nia shook her head and banished the fear and unease from her heart. It'll be fine. The Sorcerer King must have taken all this into account. He's already wasted so much mana on this country, but even so. Still, hypothetically, if Jaldabaoth won, there would be no salvation for this world, only despair. What should she do if that happened? Your Majesty, I'm counting on you. And then, two shapes soared into the sky, as though Nia's wish had gotten through. The first to ascend trailed darkness in his wake, while the one pursuing him flapped his crimson wings, and left a streak of fire behind him. The fact that the maids were not pursuing them meant one thing: the Sorcerer King had defeated those difficulty 150 monsters among monsters while battling Jaldabaoth. He's amazing. Nia was so moved that she shivered. His Majesty is more powerful than Jaldabaoth. Indeed. There was no need to think anything else. In turn, the maids were far weaker than Jaldabaoth, who was a notch below the Sorcerer King. That was why he could defeat them while fighting Jaldabaoth. Nia struggled to contain her delight. As she carefully engraved the greatness of the person she respected into her eyes, she was so filled with joy that it seemed like it would explode out of her. Nia's heart pounded, to the point where it almost hurt. They were all watching a scene that would one day be enshrined in a heroic saga. No, that's not right. It would seem they were going to fight again in the air. Crimson spheres and glowing spheres blossomed in the sky. Each of these spells could probably destroy an entire city district by themselves, and they were hurling them at each other in wild flurries. However, they looked kind of cute from a distance. Even so, that was an exchange of power within a realm that mankind could never reach. This is. As she looked out the corner of her eyes, she saw the people lining the city walls gulping as they saw all this. It would seem that they understood as well. They watched the aerial battle in silence, with earnest looks on their faces. Someone put his hands together in prayer, and the people beside him followed suit, and soon almost everyone on the city walls had their hands together as they looked to the sky. It felt like they were at worship. This is mythology. Nia did not know how much time had passed, but eventually there was a commotion among the people. Before everyone's eyes, one of the shapes in the sky fell towards the east, and then it vanished. The battle was over. As everyone watched closely, the remaining shape slowly descended. Nia's vision was better than most, and so she saw it first. It shocked her so much that she had to press her hand over her mouth. When the others saw the crimson fire, the city walls were silent. However, nobody tried to flee. Everyone who had seen the battle knew that there was no point in running. With a flap of his fiery wings, the victor showed himself. Though he was the victor in name, he was a tragic sight. His entire body was covered in electrical scorch marks. Half his face seemed to have been crushed, and his deep wounds oozed fresh blood. Perhaps it was due to his temperature, but the blood sizzled as it touched the city walls, and the sound did not stop for a moment. No words could have described the intensity of their battle better than the way he looked now. No way. A weighty yet somewhat pained voice echoed across the city walls, as though to wipe away Nia's muttering. What a mighty opponent. One of the strongest I've faced since moment. I underestimated him. How foolish. Leading the demi-humans nearly became meaningless. However, he is dead. Nia could not believe this. Therefore, she cried out. You're lying. Jaldabaoth turned his intact eye toward Nia, but she did not budge despite being bathed in the gaze of a creature from a completely different order of life. The intense emotions within her heart left no room for fear to enter. I am not lying. His Majesty is very bad at jokes, so you're lying, right? I am not lying. The words Jaldabaoth had repeated hit Nia hard enough to shatter her soul. The world seemed to shake under her feet. Nia instantly understood why the Sorcerer King had lost to Jaldabaoth. There was no need to even think about it. It was simply because this country lacked Blue Rose's evil eye and Darkness's nape, the two magic casters who could hold the maid demons at bay. No, there was another reason apart from that. If that undead had been in top condition, I might have been defeated instead. But to think he actually expended his mana for the sake of humans like you, truly, he was a fool who did not know his priorities. For that, I thank you. I knew it. I knew it, weakness truly is a sin. Nia was absolutely certain that she was correct. For that I shall reward you. The reward shall be your lives. What do you mean? Jaldabaoth snorted in delight at the question from an unknown source. I'm saying that I will spare you. At least, for now. Someone sighed in relief, but Nia was furious. Bullshit. It's all a pack of lies. Everything you say is a lie. Who would believe what a devil says? It seems you are unable to accept reality. Are you mad, human? Pitiful. Jaldabaoth pointed to Nia. Disappoint. I see, and then he immediately withdrew the finger. What's wrong, Jaldabaoth? You intend to provoke me and thus prove I am lying. Is losing your life worth that much? I cannot understand it, but it seems to be the case. Nia's teeth creaked as she clenched them. Jaldabaoth had to be lying. He had to be a liar, the kind who would tell a ridiculous lie like the Sorcerer King was dead. I will not allow it. Your lives have been saved. Now then, I will return for now. I must recover from these wounds. During that time, you may weep your tears of despair. As Jaldabaoth was about to take off with a flap of his wings, Nia's hands moved with a mind of their own. She readied her bow and let loose a shot. She had fired from directly behind him, without giving any warning of her intentions. However, Jaldabaoth immediately turned and seized the arrow. Despite his terrible wounds, he was still very agile. Jaldabaoth turned to face Nia, and then his eyes went to Nia's bow, the ultimate shooting star super. After that, his wrath-twisted feature changed slightly. Oh what an incredible weapon this is. I haven't seen a weapon like this in so long. That was close, it almost finished me off. Jaldabaoth gesticulated wildly with his limbs as he said that. He seemed compassed, but also quite anxious. What kind of weapon is this? How was it made? As if I tell you. What on earth is he thinking? Nia's mind boiled over with scorching hate. How could she tell this liar what she had learned from the Sorcerer King? How could I tell a liar like you? Mew, don't tell me, was it made by runecraft? Nia's heart lurched for a moment as he hit the nail on the head. Although she had managed to calm down a little, as her broken heart recalled the compassionate figure of the Sorcerer King once more, her anger reawakened. You're wrong. Nia screamed like she cared for nothing else, and Jaldabaoth groaned. Taking that as an opening, Nia fired again. Her next target was his feet, which were hard for the hands to reach. This time, Jaldabaoth frantically moved his feet to avoid the arrow. He's wary of it. Maybe this bow could. There could only be one reason why Jaldabaoth had so desperately evaded her shot when he had been indifferent to being stabbed in the back by the holy sword. What else could it be, if not that this bow could harm him? A wave of regret assaulted Nia as her eyes filled with tears. She realized that she should have joined that battle, even if she would have perished swiftly. If she could have hit him with the ultimate shooting star super, then she should have taken part, even if it was just to be a shield. If she had, then maybe. Nia launched another arrow. Jaldabaoth moved his head. The arrow missed and flew off to parts unknown. Hit, Mu. She fired again. And again. But none of her shots found their mark. Despite his size and his severe wounds, Jaldabaoth had still evaded Nia's attacks with startling ease. Rune. Shut up. Nia fired another arrow to shut Jaldabaoth up. However, it too missed. Why? Why isn't anyone attacking? She could understand their inability to strike Jaldabaoth because he was airborne. However, even so, how could they simply let the lying demon who had killed the most merciful Sorcerer King go free? Mew. Well, I guess it can't be helped, no. Greater teleportation. Jaldabaoth suddenly vanished. Get back here. Nia looked around. All she saw were the wide-eyed faces of people who were shocked by what Nia had done. Jaldabaoth was nowhere in sight. Moth of Fur. He ran away. Calm down. Remedios shouted. The angry cry of a mighty being could exert a pressure of its own, and normally it would have brought Nia back to her senses, or even made her freeze up. However, it did little more than annoy Nia right now. How can I calm down? Squire Nia Baraja. Did you borrow that weapon from the Sorcerer King? Why was he so interested in it? Don't ask me irrelevant questions like that. More importantly, we need to find His Majesty. I saw him fall to the east. We need to send out a rescue party. Surely he must be dead. How could he be dead? How could His Majesty die? Nia instinctively grabbed Remedios, but Remedios easily swept her aside, and Nia fell to the ground. Have you cooled off yet? Nobody could survive a fall from that height. Cooled off? You actually believe that demon's words? Captain, did you sell your soul to him? Remedios' expression changed, and then it seized up. Square. Mu, there are things you can and can't say. She grabbed Nia's collar with tremendous force, and Nia found it hard to breathe. You too. Calm down. Calm down right now. The paladins, priests, soldiers, and such hurriedly made their way between Nia and Remedios, and pulled them apart. Nia panted with all her might as she shouted. We need to send out a team to rescue His Majesty. We can't waste our resources on that. How dare you call it a waste? Nia wanted to go up and punch Remedios, but the people between them stopped her. I've got nothing to say to you. Having cooled down a little, Nia addressed the people holding her. Could you let go of me? There's something I have to do. Where are you going? In response to that question, Nia looked at Remedios with an utterly incredulous expression on her face. What kind of eyes are those? Is that how a squire should look at a paladin? Nia snorted. First, I will be asking His Highness the Prince to organize a rescue party for the Sorcerer King. After that, I will go straight to the Sorcerer Kingdom and tell them exactly what happened to His Majesty, and then I will ask for aid for His Majesty. Given the circumstances, nothing good would come of going to the Sorcerer Kingdom. Even so, she was still the Sorcerer King's squire, and she had to complete her duty. Nia was unsure she could safely reach the Sorcerer Kingdom from here, but she had to go, even if it meant her death. Oh, if you're going to the Sorcerer Kingdom, let me go with you, Baraja-san. The person who spoke was a middle-aged ex-soldier, who had retired and become a hunter. He had been lauded for his archery and had joined Nia's unit. Don't worry about me, I'm old enough as it is. I don't have much longer left. Baldum-san. From his tone, she knew that he understood what sort of fate awaited him, even if they reached the Sorcerer Kingdom safely. Hey, Nia-chan. Don't forget me. You too, Kadena-san. I'll go too, Lil Miss. Not for you, but if it's for the Sorcerer King then it can't be helped. Even you, Mina-san. All the skilled people in Nia's unit stepped forward, one after the other. With their help, it might be possible for them to reach the Sorcerer Kingdom safely. However, thank you very much. But everyone, could you join the rescue party? What are you saying? You were all gathered to rescue the Holy Kingdom and the suffering people from the clutches of that demon, weren't you? Where are your priorities? What are you saying, Captain? Could anything be more important than rescuing His Majesty? Of course. Right now, at this very moment, how many people of the Holy Kingdom do you think there are living in the hell that demi-humans made for them? Could anything be more important than rescuing them? Of course. That's... What on earth are you doing? What's all this shouting for? The argument immediately stopped when the interlopers showed up. It was Caspin. Captain Custodio, should you not have returned immediately? Where is His Majesty? What about Jeldabaoth? What happened? Could somebody please explain? Caspin sounded like he was completely lost, and his voice echoed loudly in the crushing silence.